purple rice IPA, a carb-tastic breakfast, and coffee with fermented rice and cocoa powder. This week, we're in Shanghai, China.
Traveling the world to bring you delicious dishes, tasty beverages, and interesting experiences. This is the Destination Eat Drink Podcast on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
I'm Brent Peterson. Welcome to Destination Eat Drink, the travel podcast for foodies. Destination Eat Drink is for foodies who like to travel and travelers who love to eat. And this week, we're exploring the cuisine of Shanghai with Ruixi from Lost Plate. But first, if you could, take a moment to rate and review Destination Eat Drink on your podcast app like Kohler77. They say, quote, a fun listen. Really like the diversity into what the subject is each week. It's a nice way to hear about the rest of the world. Thanks, Kohler77, and your 5-star rating helps other foodie travelers find the show. And if you'd like to get one of my foodie travel guide ebooks, they are available for download at buymeacoffee.com. I recently released a foodie travel guide to Lecce and one to Bari in Italy. Each of these cities has its own unique cuisine, and you can read all the delicious details when you download yours at buymeacoffee.com/destinationeatdrink. And thank you very much. Ruixi Hu is the brains behind Lost Plate at lostplate.com, a foodie tour company in China. Ruixi takes hungry and curious travelers to places like Beijing, Shanghi, and Xi'an. Ruixi tells me about the French concession neighborhood, the surprising popularity of coffee shops in Shanghai, and the city's craft beer scene. Plus, scallion pancakes, pork belly, and exploding fish. And I'm starving, so let's eat.
Destination Eat Drink.
Ruixi Hu from Lost Plate. Welcome to Destination Eat Drink. I'm so glad to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me. Really excited to have this chat with you today.
I want to talk to you today about your food tours in Shanghai. And for folks who don't really know anything about Shanghai, except maybe the name of the city, what can you tell them about it and what makes Shanghai a special place?
It is truly a magical place. I love Shanghai, and just like many people, it is a very special place in so many different ways. And I would describe Shanghai as a city of contrast. You will see like big buildings and high rises everywhere on one side of a river, and the other side you will just see like little houses are 2 floors tall, and they were there ever since 100 years ago when French concession started. And so you will just literally see a grandma taking their kid eating like soup dumplings on side that's been running for generations, and right next to it you will see some young people eating and drinking like avocado toast or French crepes and drinking champagne, having their brunch. It is truly amazing. That's probably why I really like it. You see everything and everybody there.
I like this contrast of the traditional and the modern. You know, we live in Portugal, and I think Lisbon is becoming that a little bit. It's really working hard to bring a tech industry into Lisbon. So you will see a lot of young people, very modern. You're seeing a lot of American-style restaurants start to pop up, for better or for worse, in Lisbon. But of course, it's a very traditional culture, and you have a lot of traditional Portuguese places and Portuguese buildings dating to the 18th century here as well. So I like that contrast quite a bit, and I'm glad to hear that. Are they working hard, do you think, to preserve that traditional culture in Shanghai?
I don't think, I need to preserve something. It's something that is on people's top of their mind. I think it's just people's going with the flow and what it works, and that's how it rules there. And people are doing their own thing. Recently, like for example, milk tea is really popular in China. Everyone, or including Shanghai, is really into milk tea. But now, like, coffee is really taking over there, and so everyone's like into coffee. So it's just really the trend and where the trend starts and where it get caught and all that. It's kind of like just like a flow.
You mentioned the French concession neighborhood, and when I knew that I was going to talk to you, Ruixi, I started reading up on Shanghai, and this French concession neighborhood is just so fascinating to me. There's so many aspects that I had no idea that this existed in Shanghai or in China. You guys do a couple of tours in the French concession. Let's start by talking about your coffee and breakfast tour. But what can you tell me in general about the French concession neighborhood?
Yes, so French concessions started early 19th century, and a lot of immigrants or a lot of like actually like wealthier Chinese people moved into the French concession and start with a very like, wide street and beautiful gardens and yards. And over the years and flowed in a lot more people. And so they really changed the style of houses. And now it's like a Shanghai special style French building with very small packed buildings that just like lay on a one line with like 20 or 30 of them because everyone flowed into this like safe zone, right? And yeah, like it became like the center of the world that not only Chinese are there, French are there, Americans are there, but also like Jewish that they had to come to Shanghai for the refugee. And we had a lot of Russians flew in there too after the October Revolution. All that really like brings a different vibe and different style. So that's even now we have a lot of interesting like cultural and like even food, like it's all different and mixed in that aspect, I say.
What is the French influence? Does it still remain there?
Not necessarily French influence there. We do still have a lot of buildings that outside with like French architecture, but inside is like still very Chinese
Oh,
and
cool.
like square like that. We have a lot of remain like coffee culture, and people are a lot more open-minded and are very accepted with different influence or culture. But there are also some like Western food remained in Shanghai, but in general, it's more like the time like stayed there with this specific style. And now we moved on, but that's still kind of embedded into the culture.
You guys do a couple of tours in the French concession neighborhood. The first one I want to talk about is the coffee and breakfast tour. And, when I
Yeah.
think of Chinese culture, I think of tea. You mentioned tea earlier. I'm
Mhm.
wondering, is coffee that popular, and how did it become popular in Shanghai?
Yes, it is extremely popular in Shanghai. Do you know that Shanghai has the most coffee shop in the world right now?
It's a
More than
crazy
anywhere.
statistic. That's crazy. You would think it would be somewhere like I know in, say, Finland, the Nordic countries, they drink a lot of
Yeah.
coffee, or maybe somewhere like in Vienna, Austria might have a ton of coffee because they have those magnificent coffee houses. The,
Yeah.
the most per capita is
Yeah.
in Shanghai. That's nuts.
It's in Shanghai. Yeah.
Why is
We
that?
we have like 8,500 coffee shop
Oh my
consistently.
goodness.
Like with like closing and but opening, closing and opening. Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I say coffee, it is one thing really embedded into people's day-to-day life now. Every single corner you turn around or a few steps you take in French concession, you will see a coffee shop, big or small, and very boutique or very fast. And like we even have coffee shop. It's like like vending machine size. I'm not saying it's a vending machine, but it's like a size like a vending machine. They're just serving coffee and you grab, you go, and sort of thing. Um, yeah, it really, I think in Shanghai really took like it took over tea, and coffee is the thing. Like everyone's life is so busy, you need a little boost, in the morning or in the evening or at night.
Yes.
And so that is it, right? And we are not only having the quantity of the coffee, but we also have the quality of the coffee. Like we have espresso, pour over, cold brew, and you name it, right? Like different ways of making coffee or processed coffee. And then they will literally have it on their menu saying, this is washed, this is sun-baked, this is natural. And really, yeah, they name it all. And we also have the most interesting flavors of coffee. Some of the coffees I've never, I mean, most of the flavors that I've had in Shanghai blows my mind. I've never had any of those flavors anywhere else in the world. And for example, one of the coffees we do on our Shanghai tour, the base, the bottom is fermented rice. And
Oh,
then they add milk. And then they add whipped espresso. They whip it. And then on the top, they put cocoa powder on it. And so it's not just, it looks beautiful. It tastes amazing with very like different layers of texture and flavor. And it just blows your mind. Like
that's,
seriously,
that
it's
sounds
very special.
awesome
Yeah.
because, we just got back from a trip from Italy. And one of the things that you'll often see is this layered effect of different coffee drinks, where on the bottom they have like a liqueur, then in the middle they have the espresso, and then on the top they have a cream or something like that. And this sounds very familiar to me. The fermented
Yeah.
rice kind of takes the place of the liqueur. And this is a great
Yeah.
combination because you get the bitterness to go with the alcoholic thing with it. It's really nice. I like it a lot.
It's a great way to start your morning.
Yeah, get up and go, and then sit down.
Yeah.
How do you like?
Exactly.
How do you like having your coffee, Ruixi? What's the most popular way?
Well, I personally don't really take a lot of caffeine because I get really jittery and I couldn't sleep till 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Even I have a morning coffee. So it doesn't really suit me that well. But like whenever I'm in Shanghai, I'm always willing to try something new. I'm like, I can miss this chance. I'm not there all the time. I gotta drink it. And I will try some like jasmine flower ice
Oh,
Americano. Be like, oh my God, Chinese, we use jasmine flower all the time in our tea, in our food, and we wear them, right? I've never thought like, wow, jasmine flower tastes so good in an ice Americano. Like I love it.
that's
It's so
amazing.
good.
Jasmine. I would never think of jasmine in my coffee. And my
Oh
my
yeah.
first reaction would be it's such a what's the word I'm looking for? Not mild, but such a unique
Yeah.
understated flavor that I'd be
Yeah. A little
surprised
bit
that it
even
could break
bitter.
over. Yeah, that it could break over the strength of the coffee. But
Oh, it is so
I got to
good.
try it. Now I got to try it.
Yes. Yes, gotta try it. It's like those dry jasmine flowers. So it's so floral. And then
Okay.
it's the scent when you pick up the cup, right? And before you even start drinking, sipping it, you just have this aroma around you. And you'll be like, oh my God, my day start with this flower. It's amazing. And then you drink it, you'll be like, oh my God, it's great.
So your tour is called Coffee and Breakfast. So let's talk about breakfast.
Mhm.
What would I
Yes.
typically enjoy for breakfast if I were to come to Shanghai?
A lot of carbs.
Okay.
Actually, a lot of carbs. So not so much of a gluten-free person's choice.
Okay.
A fun fact that if you come to China and you tell people you're gluten-free, people don't understand. Be like,
Hmm.
what? What do you mean? Like, who doesn't eat wheat?
Yeah. Okay.
It's a real thing.
Okay. So
Yeah, we do a lot of carbs.
what would some of these carb heavy dishes be?
Well, we have a lot, right? And I think everyone knows like xiaolongbao, the soup dumplings that's like the iconic food in Shanghai. And we have shenzhen, or we have like pot stickers, or we have scallion pancakes. And those are all super popular in Shanghai, and it's very unique towards to Shanghai. And they're all like wheat based. It really is. People need some quick carb. People, life is busy, right? And Shanghai was or used to be the like hub of like port of China or in this region because the Yangtze River ends there. And so like there are a lot of labor intensive workers and craftsmen and all that. And what do? You don't have time to eat slowly and delicately. You just need to grab and go. And those are the things that you can grab it easily and it provides you a lot of energy and it really pumps you in the morning. You just need to finish it or on the way to work, eat those. Even now, I still think Chinese are so used to eat their breakfast on the way to work or like bring it to work and eat it within a few minutes before they start the work. So it is a really different from different part of the world.
So this is grab and go. We're not sitting down for a leisurely breakfast.
Well, we do sit down, but it's about like 5 to 10 minutes. We're
Okay.
not like no one's gonna sit for like 15 or 20 and the owner of the restaurant be like, why are you still here? There's still people waiting. Like breakfast restaurants are always like very tiny and small. They will have like 6 or 8 tables. Like unless you go to like a bigger, more of a well-known or chain type of place. Otherwise, they're very tiny. And if you come, you eat, you go, right? Like no one's gonna like casually drink a coffee, chit chat, or read your newspaper. Like nobody's gonna do that.
They got to turn over those tables so that they can make enough money. Um,
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
the stereotype of the American is, eating in your car while you're commuting to work. And this
Yeah.
isn't the same thing, but it is kind of that more uh, rushed culture. Whereas here
Hmm.
in Portugal, they would never think of doing that. Like, a 2 hour
Is
lunch
it
is not unheard of. With a
really
pitcher of wine, and you sit
in the
with.
morning?
Well, this would be in the afternoon, but in the morning you
Okay.
would go into the cafe, and in our town specifically,
Hmm.
you would have a coffee cafe, but you might also have something called muscatel, which is a fortified wine. And if you walk
Oh
through our
wow.
city, you will see the old guys sitting in the cafes at 9 o'clock in the morning drinking muscatel. It is not strange at all to see that in our city, and they'll sit there for a couple hours, and no second thought given, and will never be rushed out of there either, because
I love
that's
your
just.
place. I need to move there.
Well, when you come, I'll show you around, and I'll let you. We'll go and get some nice aged muscatel, not the young rot gut,
Yeah.
and I'll
Yeah.
show you my favorite place for a pastel tonada too, Rishi.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. I will sit there for 4 hours and then
Yes,
right after that 4 hours will be lunch and we sit another 3 hours.
that's
A
right.
day will pass by just like that.
Can you do it though? That's the question, because your Chinese brain
No.
might be saying, "Okay, I gotta go, I gotta go," because that's what I
Oh
had to get
no,
used to at
I will
first
be
when I was
bored.
here. Yeah, when I first got here, I was
Definitely
like,
not.
"Wait, are they going to kick us out? We're sitting here for a really long time." In America, they just drop the check on your table and they expect you to, pay and go.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. You're ready whenever?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys also do an evening tour in the French concession, and I'm
Yes.
wondering, how is it different from morning to night? If I go there in the morning and I get my breakfast and I get my coffee with my jasmine flower in it, and then I
Hmm.
go at night, what would it be like?
Well, the vibe is very different. And morning is very bustling and people are like, moving around. You see bicycles and scooters. Well, you do still see some of that, but everyone's busy, right? Everyone's going somewhere for a mission. But in the evening, a lot more people are walking around just casually taking a walk after dinner. And people are going to get a drink or hang out and like we have trees on both sides of the road in French concession, and so it's like shaded with lights going through. It's very romantic, and you see like the restaurants and people are eating inside, and like bars, people are drinking. It's just like turned to be a very romantic place, and in a like Chinese, but not Chinese way, because like short buildings are not really a thing nowadays in China. I live in a apartment building is like 15 floor, and that's like short considering, right? Like in French concession, everything is like 2 floors or 3 floors. And it's just so different. And everyone just think, oh, this is so romantic, so different. And obviously the type of food they serve or the vibe at daytime and nighttime is also very different there.
So my girlfriend would be happy if I took her here in the evening for a drink or something, and
Oh yeah.
for a nice evening out.
Yes. Yes. We have great breweries in town. We have great speakeasy bars and like wine bars, obviously clubs and all that. Like you name it, everything.
Let's start with the beer.
Mhm.
What kind of beer would I have? Is it just Chinese industrial beer? Is there craft beer in Shanghai these days? What's it like?
Craft beer is a really big thing nowadays in Shanghai or even in China in general, just the last 10 years or so. Just like coffee in Shanghai, we also created a lot of different styles and different flavors. And I really think we take into a food that's from a different country, and we think this is good. We take it in, and then we make it even better.
Yes.
um, we have some really fascinating flavors of beer in China. Was obviously a lot people love like floral ones. So we have like osmanthus flower, like very unique flowers only exist in like China and our surrounding countries. And we have like purple rice IPA or
Mm,
pale ale
wow.
purple rice, and you actually taste the rice in it.
What kind of floral infusions would you find? Because I recently had a beer infused with saffron that I thought was really interesting.
Ooh,
Um,
that's cool.
it was really nice, and it was from a region where they grow a lot of saffron, so it was it was nice to have that regionality to go with it. But
Mhm.
do we get? So you talked about jasmine. Do we get a jasmine infused beer, for example? What kind of flowers might we enjoy?
I'm sure somewhere in the country they probably do that. We would have like of Memphis. We have orange flowers. Orange
So
flower is
fragrant.
actually
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, the
Yeah.
citrusy and it's really and they obviously use orange peels and they use tea too. They use Longjing tea and they use oolong tea. And recently I had so this one Sichuan peppercorn that is from Sichuan is making your tongue nummy. It's a
Yes.
unique spice in China. And they put that with honey um into it. So it's amazing. I love
That's
that.
it sounds amazing. So
Yeah, so your tongue is a little tinkling.
yeah, I like it. So how would we have craft beer? Are there breweries that are right there, or are there just bars that
Yes.
have taps with them? How would it work specifically?
So we have a lot of individual microbreweries that opening over Shanghai, and we also have like bars. They just have crafts from Shanghai or different region of China, and they can ship it over. We actually have some really big craft beer. You could even call them factories, right? Like
Mhm.
located in different part of China, and they distribute in like Shanghai, Beijing, or other cities in China too.
Let's talk about a couple of the dishes because you mentioned earlier the scallion pancakes, and
Mhm.
you mentioned that they're carb heavy. So we're talking about some kind of wheat batter with scallions in them, I guess, and then
Mhm.
fried or cooked on the griddle. You'll tell me. But I'm more curious about like where would we get these? Are they in street food carts? Are they in restaurants? How would we get them?
I say the most delicious one, you have to get it on the street. But it's not like a street, like someone's pushing a cart anymore. It's more like a small vendor with a very tiny window or a little just like a shad.
Gotcha.
And you just buy it through the window and you get from them and they will make it freshly right in front of you. And normally it's just like they make a batch and they will be sold within like a couple minutes and then they make another batch, that kind of thing. Restaurants, they do make them, but it needs that street vibe for it to taste good. You know what I mean?
Yes. I love this idea of the little pop-up, you called them shacks, so I'll use that word, of the little pop-up shacks. It sounds very like a very intimate experience. You're talking to the guy who just made it, or the lady who just made it. And I assume there's no place to sit down. It's grab and go, right?
Oh no. Oh yeah, you don't sit down to eat a scallion pancake.
What would I have? What would I have with the scallion pancake? What would I wash it down with?
In a scallion pancake place, they would just sell that. They might sell you a soy milk or and congee, but normally, like small vendors like this, they only specialize in one thing, and that shop can only do one thing at a one time. If they don't have any seats, right? And they just like, here we go, we have this, you take that and you leave, sort of thing. They do put some drinks, water, soy milk, that kind of thing on their counter, and you can purchase it. But yeah, main thing will be just itself.
I did want to ask you about one more dish, and they say it's the signature dish of Shanghai. I don't know if it's true, but what can you tell me about pork belly?
Oh, I love this dish. It is my favorite dish.
Okay, good.
Yes, it is definitely one of the signature dish of Shanghai, and it really represents what I was talking about, like thicker sauce with richer flavor and sweet tooth. It really is, because it's made with brown sugar, soy sauce, and yellow wine, and like other spice you breeze, like we call it braised pork belly, right? You just like slowly cook it for like an hour, and it's tender. It's this like brown but reddish color, and it's almost transparent, and then you see it, and then you grab it, and it's like kind of like shiny, and it just melts in your mouth. It's delicious. Also very fatty, but it goes really well with rice. It is one of the signature dish. Now when you travel to Shanghai, it's must try, and we try that on our evening food tour. You just have to try that. But for me, like I actually like another thing to represent Shanghai better, which is Baoyu. It's a Chinese name. It's Bao means to explode. And so it has like, yeah, but it's not actually explode. It's actually it's fresh killed fish, and then they deep fry it. And so it's like bubbly, and it's kind of like you if you actually see it, which we take our guests to see it, right? You see it like just like the sound is just like it's crazy. And then you see them get deep fried. So this dish, like after you deep fry it, you take it out right away, and then you put it into a marinated sauce with different flavors you can choose from. You can choose sweet and sour, you can choose 5 spice, you can choose salt and pepper and all that. It is the dish for Shanghainese for their celebrations, for their New Year's, big holidays. And if you invite anyone to eat at your house, this would be the appetizer sort of thing. It's like a must to have. Because the name is about to explode, and also means your future is about to explode. It's getting so well, it's like a really good name. And it's a fish, which in this region, we're surrounded by river and lakes and obviously ocean. And so it's very accessible. And people would cook a lot of those fish at one time before the festivals. And so Like, even though I personally think, and everybody agrees, if you don't try it when it's hot, so right after they cook it, it's crispy on the side and it is flavorful, and the fish is still very tender. But culturally in Shanghai, you have to eat it when it's cold, which like kind of, I mean, it still tastes good, but the skin is not going to be crispy. And so it's quite different, but because they have to fry a lot of them at one time, they keep them for like days. And so like people wouldn't even eat them when it's fresh or it's hot. They just have to wait a couple hours till it cools down and then eat it. It's a fun tradition, and it's a
Nice.
fun thing, has a great name. And
Yes.
I think people when they come to Shanghai need to try Bao Yu.
And I do love the name exploding. It's a great name.
Yeah,
And I like how
full
you
fish.
described it, Ruixi, that it has all these exploding doesn't mean exploding. It has all these different connotations to it, which is really nice. There is one thing I want to go back to with the pork belly, because I'm going to
Mhm.
share this with you because
Yes,
maybe you'll find it interesting, maybe you won't. I don't know. But we lived in
can't wait.
Austin, Texas
Mhm.
for a while. And Austin,
Uh-huh.
Texas is known, or at least it was back in the day, known as a live music capital. Lots of
Yes.
musicians live there. Willie Nelson is from there, people like this. And you use the word shiny to describe the pork belly. And one of my friends has my favorite band in Austin, Texas. You've never heard of them, but they're pretty well known in Texas, and they're called
Okay.
Shiny Ribs. That's the name of the group, Shiny
Ooh.
Ribs, because he was in a restaurant once and some lady pointed to it and said, "Give me some of those shiny ribs." And so he said, "That's a great name for a band." And so we called them Shiny Ribs. And I think he would fit right in Shanghai with your
Oh
shiny
yeah.
pork belly.
He needs to have some shiny pork belly. The
Shiny pork
color is
belly.
actually very similar to those Texas ribs. So
Yeah, as you were describing it to me, it sounded very similar, the cooking
mhm,
method, and the type of sauce that goes with it, because you've got the sweet, you've got the
mhm,
savory, you've got the
mhm.
umami flavor, and you've got the barbecue smoky portion of it. So Texas and China and Shanghai, they might be cousins in some culinary aspects, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all the food in the world, it's in the end, it's all goes through the similar route, right? Everybody has a noodles, but different ways. Everyone has dumplings, but different styles and different flavors, but it's still dumplings. And so, yeah, all the food eventually goes to like a similar method, but different ways of preparing it, different flavor-ish.
Reishi, it's just been a delight talking to you. Folks should look you up at lostplate.com. You do some great tours, and Shanghai is just one of them. You guys
Yeah.
have a lot of really cool places that you do in China, and some other places as well. So I encourage people definitely to look you up at lostplate.com. This has been a fascinating conversation. You have just opened my eyes to the cuisine of Shanghai, which, as you've rightly pointed out, is very different from other places in China. And thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. And it's just been a great conversation. Thank you for being on the program today. I sincerely appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much. It has been so fun to share my understanding or personal thoughts about Shanghai and its cuisine. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, that's Ruixi from Lost Plate. You can book a tour in Shanghai at lostplate.com. How fun would that be? And if you want to hear more from my conversation with Ruixi, check out my Substack. Members get the full episode where Ruixi and I talk about wine bars and cocktails in Shanghai, as well as some surprisingly sweet dishes, desserts, and bubble tea taking over the world. Become a member at destinationeatdrink.substack.com. I've compiled quite a library of extended interviews there, free for members, so check it out. Well, that's it for this week. Next week, we're enjoying a unique sourdough bread from Ethiopia, bean paste with plum sauce, and unusual water as we talk about fermented foods. Don't miss that. Until then, there's plenty more foodie travel at destinationeatdrink.com. I just posted a brand new video. This one is about a hidden gem of a bakery on top of a ridge by windmills in Portugal. Nobody goes, no tourists go here, but I'm going to share it with you. You can watch that video by clicking on the video tab at destinationeatdrink.com or by going to my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@destinationeatdrink946. I also just posted a brand new story about the real Santa Claus and the church dedicated to him in Bari, Italy. You can read about that at destinationeatdrink.com/blog. And speaking of Bari, my brand new foodie travel guide to Bari is now available. It's a deal at just $2.99. And there's everything you need to eat and drink in this underrated Italian city, plus where to get all the best food and great things to do. Download yours at buymeacoffee.com/destinationeatdrink. It makes a great gift. Destination Eat Drink is distributed by the Radio Misfits Podcast Network and Ed Silla. Thanks, Ed. I'm Brent Peterson, and I'll see you down the road.
Join us next week for another culinary adventure on Destination Eat Drink, a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.